Alrighty. So our next thing on our list is green speeds, firmness, and all that fun stuff. So say you want to make your greens very challenging. You want them to be hard and fast. You want your fairways to be hard and fast. And maybe you want your bunkers to be really soft to where balls are going to plug most of the time when they land in them. This is how you do it right here. You want to come over here to your course settings tab down here. And we're going to start off with our greens just to work from there outwards. So you want to come over here to green settings. And for the most part, what it's going to give you is a medium green speed and a medium green firmness when you start the course. And as I was saying, I want to make this course firm and fast. I don't know why, but I do. So I'm going to turn the firmness up to about 75. Making your firmness and your green speed max is like Augusta National. It is very, very hard. So I'm going to turn our speed up here to just below where it says fast. I'm going to keep it at medium fast. I don't want it to be too super crazy. And also on this tab, there are a few other little interesting things that you might want to keep in mind. There's the fringe width tab, which of course makes your fringe width different. The only thing about this, I don't like it because it comes in on your green instead of moving outward. I would rather it move outward than inward. So I usually just keep this at its base of like 50 right here. Also on here is flag texture. You can change the look of your flag. I'm going to go with the new flag, the 2K flag. I like that one. Also on here is your mow pattern and green texture. These are two pretty important ones in terms of look on your course. If I come out here and I select mow pattern, I select mow intensity, I turn that all the way up to 100. What do you get? You get those stripes on the green that everyone likes. Now 100 is a little bit too much, it's too firm. You can kind of see how weird the stripes kind of look. I usually like to have them sit around 50. It's a very good middle ground. You can still see them, but they're not standing out right in your face. And the next thing over here is mow width. You want to keep your mow width right around here. A big mistake I see a lot of designers do is they'll turn their mow width all the way up to 100. And it's not as bad on this game, but on the older games, having your mow width at 100 would make these lines so tiny that it would be about a foot wide, which there are no mowers in existence that can mow that thin. I'm not even sure if there are mowers that mow this thin, and this is the new update. This is pretty damn small in terms of mower sizes. So I usually like to keep it somewhere around 60 or so. This is about a mower size, typical walk mower size. Just to give you that nice little clean golf course look. And now we've pretty much got our whole green set up. There's really nothing else on here that you need to do. Your slope and your green size, I would never mess with any of these. This is just going to bring your old green back into existence, which you don't want. This is just going to make your green slopier, but we don't even have the old green anymore, so it doesn't really matter what this is at. And our next thing in here is fairway. Now this is the exact same things as you just saw on the last tab. There are one or two separate ones, like the edge. This just changed the edge of your natural fairway, which we don't have anymore. Fairway in, fairway start, we don't have the old fairway anymore. So this one, this one, this one, and this one, we don't have to worry about anymore, because this is just for the pre-generated fairway that the game gives you. So what we're going to want to focus on is our fairway roll and our fairway firmness. I'm going to turn our firmness up a little bit to about 70 and our roll up to about 70. This is going to give us a little bit more of a professional feel, a lot more roll, a lot more bounce on our course. And we've also got our mow pattern, as I was just talking about. Now in terms of our mow pattern sizes, there aren't really a lot of good sizes here. What you want to do is you want to keep your intensity probably around a 50, and your mow width, see how tiny it gets. That's just not realistic at all. You're going to want to keep it probably anywhere between maybe 40. You could go all the way down to 1 if you really want to, because there are courses who mow fairways very similar to this with these huge stripes. It takes more time, but people do it. I'm going to keep it at this size because I kind of like this. It's closer to a fairway mower, not exactly, but a little bit closer. Might actually go with that right there. Gives us our nice stripes. Now sadly you can't select your direction of your stripes. They always go whichever direction they're pointing. So if you want to have your holes lined up with the stripes, you have to design your course that way. I haven't done one like that yet because you have to go straight, 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 but it is something you can do if you want to have nice striped fairways. Now, our next thing would be our rough settings. Rough, roll, and firmness I usually will keep at 50 because I like when people get in the rough for their balls to stop and their balls not to bounce as hard. You've also in this tab got your heavy rough firmness and heavy rough roll. I usually like to turn these down to make our heavy rough a little bit thicker and hold the golf balls up. So if you land out here, you're not always going to get a hard bounce that'll bounce you back into the fairway. Sometimes it will keep you and hold you up. Same thing, this also applies when you miss a green. Say I miss a green over here and it gets a bad bounce, starts coming back towards this water. Having a less firm rough and a less roll rough is going to hold your ball up and not allow you to get in the water quite as fast. In terms of everything else on here, you got your texture, which don't really want to mess with. It just changes the look of your hole. You can change texture on all of these. I'll go into that later, but it's not something that people usually do because it can make your holes look really weird unless you completely match the whole thing up. Like there are some heavy rough widths that just, this one's super green. It actually looks nice. I've ran with this one before. I'm probably actually going to keep it on here just because I like the look of it. There are ones like this which make your course look dead. There are actually a lot of pages of them too. There's a lot of different little options. You can just kind of click through them and find one you want. You can do this for the rough. You can do this for the light rough. You can do this for the fairways. You can do this for the greens. And you can do this for the bunkers and the cart paths and mulch. So you can select whatever textures you want for all of these things. It's all going to be under this tab. You just come in here, come to texture, T-box. T-box doesn't have texture, it's the same as greens. Green, texture, in here somewhere right there. So you can do all that if you want, change the colors up. I need to go back to my rough settings, go back to my heavy rough texture. I'm going to go back to 1 just because I like that green feel of it. Now, I think that is just about everything in here. The last thing is bunker. You can do bunker texture. I'll usually do the pearly white bunkers just because those stand out the most. I'm going to turn my bunker firmness down to 0, and I'll leave my bunker roll up here at 50 just so people can get some rolls down into the bottom of the bunkers sometimes. Now, I think that is pretty much everything over here on the settings tab in terms of green speed, rolls, and all of that stuff. So I'll be getting into the next video now.